A couple weeks ago, I went to Taco Bell. I hadn't been there in really a long time. I'm not sure why, but I've been thinking about it lately, so I decided to stop by and get some. I was standing in there in line looking up at the menu. They had some new stuff since I'd been. I only wanted to eat there this one time, so I took my time. Finally, I got in line, and then another woman got in line behind me. It was one of those potentially awkward situations where you think you know somebody, but you're not sure. You look at them, and then you start to think maybe they recognize you, but then you wonder if they're just looking at you a bit more friendlier than normal because you are looking at them more friendlier than normal. On one hand, if you ask where you know them and it turns out you're on a first name basis, you'll feel like an idiot. Or if you don't know them at all, they'll think you're running some kind of game or something. Just when I thought I recognized her, after we'd done that goofy eye contact partial recognition dance, some guy came up to me. He seemed to be pretty nervous. He explained how he was going through some tough times, how he used to be a mechanic. Somebody stole his tools and he'd lost his job. He seemed completely honest, and then he asked if I'd buy him something to eat. I said sure. I didn't even hesitate. Had he asked for money, I don't know, but he just asked for something to eat, which is a totally honest thing. He stood next to me in line. When I glanced back at the woman, she'd gone completely cold, like she wanted absolutely nothing to do with me, like the previous eye contact dance we'd done had been purged from the historical record. I remembered a dream I had. I was sitting in my boss's office at a job I had like 20 years ago. This guy was somebody that everybody hated. He always pretended to be friendly to other people, and other people pretended to be friendly to him, but he hated everybody and everybody hated him. But in my dream, he was actually giving me some helpful advice. Same guy, but a different personality. And this started right in the middle of our conversation. That lab downstairs is a potential gold mine for you. I hope you know that, because this only exists in your mind, and only while you sleep. It will take a while to get the hang of how to use this, but once you figure out how to realize that you are dreaming now, you can use that laboratory as your own experimental resource. Whatever you'd like to do in the world, you can practice that in the lucid dreaming laboratory of your mind. You can experiment with anything you want. If you want to be successful in the world, you can practice how to be successful in your dream lab. If you want to be able to make money in the world, you just need to practice how to make money in your dream lab. And what you may discover later, if you are willing to be patient, is that the limits of the real world are only bound by what you can experiment with in your mind. If you discover how to read minds in the lucid dreaming lab, you'll be able to read minds in the world. If you discover how to levitate objects in your lab, you'll easily be able to levitate objects in the world. It may take time, but you can learn how to master astral projection, how to master remote viewing, how to learn the secrets of remote influence. But you must have patience. You must develop this skill slowly. You must take your time. When I bought the guy his food, the woman was still trying very hard to pretend this didn't happen, to force her mind to forget this interaction. I gave the guy his food and he went to sit down, and I walked out the door. He nodded a thanks at me, but he seemed kind of sad and I felt kind of guilty. The guy seemed lonely. He was happy I'd bought him some food, but he seemed to wish for company. I went home and ate my food in front of my TV like I'd planned. Even though the new items were okay, most of the stuff kind of tastes the same. Personally, I like Jack in the Box tacos better than Taco Bell tacos, but a sack of Taco Bell is something you can enjoy so long as you don't overdo this.